Hello and very warm welcome dear students to Dr. Zia Ahmed YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about some Chinese writer, Lu Hsun. He is a very wonderful and amazing writer. He writes about number of human desires and wishes, and he is so famous and so good that he's the part of world literature. I mean the literature which is translated from the native language into English, and that is why today we are understanding it. Though he's not that common because Chinese literature is not that taught in our universities. However, it is included in the syllabi of the Pakistani universities wherever the world literature is being taught. So let's begin with his two essay type of writings, that is the Kite, and after that in the same volume these are available. Let us see what he talks, how he talks. And therefore, the author, first of all, should be mentioned that he is a renowned writer, and his poem The Kite is a part of this video, is of his collection from the Wild Grass. Wild Grass is a collection of the prose poetry and essay that reflects his thoughts and observations in life, society, and nature. So he resembles up to some extent with Walt Whitman of USA, because he too wrote one book of poetry, Leaves of the Grass, and then he talked about the similar tones as Lu Hsun talks about. So therefore, some type of similarity does exist there, especially with reference to After Death, the poem After Death, for example. Let us see more about this, what happens in this video. First of all, we are giving you the summary of the kite. The kite is the thing with which all of us are famous, as the picture is also showing, that a small boy is pulling the string of a kite, which is very colorful. And I think every one of us knows about the Chinese kites, that they are not simple kites, butterfly type of kites. They are of multiple shapes and multiple styles of kite. And the Chinese are therefore very much amazingly fond of the kite flying. And here also in this essay, in this small writing, Lu Hsun reflects on his childhood memories of flying kites and associated emotion and symbolism with that. The poem therefore captures the joy and freedom experienced while one flies the kite, and it also shows that sadness and disillusionment when the kite is lost or it is broken. The kite serves as a metaphor for innocence, dreams, and the fleeting nature of happiness. We shall be discussing all that. How does it become the metaphor? How does it become the dream, the wishes, the happiness, and the sadness? So that is the summary of the essay. The themes, as far as the themes are concerned, first of all, the theme of innocence and that of nostalgia is there. Lu Hsun reminisces about the simple joys of childhood, symbolized by the kite. So here in this essay, small essay, he uses the kite as a symbol. That kite becomes the symbol of the human longing and that of the purity also, and it also becomes a symbol of the freedom and the control which one would like to have on any force of nature, as that of the kite flying, the air friction and the pull and push of the kite, all these things become part of that. It is showing the ephemerality as well. The kite is very fragile because the thread with which it is bound and flying, it is very fragile. So it is the symbolic of the human life, which is also very fragile. It's also transient. Its happinesses and dreams are very much transient. And then it comes the freedom and constraint. The kite is the best example of freedom and constraint, because when the kite pulls itself, it wants freedom. And when the man, the kite flyer, pulls it back, it wants the kind of constraint. And as a result, this type of thing goes on happening. We can see in our life as well. We have the desire to become free, but then we have the constraints also. So a very true depiction of the human life, human desires has been done by the poet, by the writer in this small essay. And then comes some of the imagery and the symbolism. If we talk of the kite is a symbol of representing various dualities such as joy and sorrow, freedom and limitations, and innocence and experience. So we can say it's a type of binary opposition, as our life is going to be. The type of binary opposition, because if we on the one hand can claim freedom, on the other hand the constraints are there. And if on the one hand we are joyous, on the other hand we are sorrowful as well. And same is the case with being innocent or experience. So in that way, the symbolic interpretation of the kite is of dual nature, which can help us understand our life as well. Then is the sky in which we make the kites fly. This sky is associated with boundlessness and freedom. Of course, when we fly in the air, or we fly the kite in the air, at that time the limitations are left on the ground, and one is very free, to fly the kite. So in this way, sky becomes the symbol of boundlessness. And then comes the string itself. The string is a connection between the kite and the person who is flying that kite. Yes, it's a symbol of control, of attachment, of inevitability, and of losing what one cherishes. It's a very amazing experience that when we are flying a kite at that time, we feel that kite is pulling us, and the joy and the thrill which when we pull it back, it rises up, it responds to us. That is really very amazing. So in that way, the kite becomes the full image of the human life and the desires and the way we want to live, and it becomes a symbol of all these things. Then is the tone and the mood of the essay. The tone of the shift from joyous and light-heartedness to melancholic and reflective. This shift mirrors the transition from the innocence of childhood to the more complex emotions of adulthood. When we read the essay, we find that first of all, the two boys fight with each other. One boy is fond of kite flying, the other is not. The other, who is not fond of kite flying, he's elder, and that is why he puts more pressure on the little one not to do that. In that way, he sometimes beats him as well. But with the passage of time, he becomes habitual to that and feels like begging forgiveness from the little brother. So in this way, it is joyous also and it is sad also. The mood is contemplative, inviting readers to reflect on their own experience in the passages of time, that we can feel ourselves also present in the whole of the essay. That the mode is of being contemplative, that it asks us to think about what our life is, how we have been experiencing our life, and how it is passing, it's going on, and what is the type of mode with which we pass on this life. The tone therefore is joyous also, sad also, and the mode is contemplative in this essay. For example, if we take one small excerpt from the essay, my companions and I stand in the open field flying kites. The kites soar high, far into the distance. We laugh and run, our heart filled with joy. So this is the kind of representation, of the kite when somebody flies the kite at that time. One can see the companions also standing by side, and one can feel the thrill of the kite which is flying. And when it goes higher, soars higher, it makes us very happy. And when it falls down, it makes us sad as well. So this is the type of combination of happiness, of sadness that the writer has tried to give us, right? And then let's talk about the second essay, which is also very important in this book. The second essay, After Death, is also available in the Wild Grass, the book, and that goes to talk about how, for example, one feels that will possibly happen after death. Uh, Robert Browning also talked about after death kind of situation in the poem The Bishop Orders a Storm, and also it was talked by Bacon in his essay of death. So people have been talking about death. Here also we find the feeling of the poet, what goes to happen when somebody is dead. Here we can also see the prose poems was written by him in 1927, and he shows his deep contemplation of life, death, and the human condition in this type of essay. If we talk the summary of this after death essay, we can see that it delves into the theme of what happens after one dies. The essay reflects a sense of uncertainty and contemplation about afterlife. It explores the poet's thoughts on whether there is a continuation of existence or if death signifies the end of everything. So this is what the student can take as a summary. And then there's the theme of mortality and existence. Definitely, this has been an interplay. Our life has been an interplay on this earth of these two things, mortality and existence. And human beings have been trying to extend their immortality. They don't want to die. But death is certain, it has to come ultimately. And we have been existing in this world, that's right. But this existence has to end up to some extent. So one can feel the curiosity, what happens after we are dead. The feeling that we make or generate because of the stories, because of the things we listen from the elders or the religious mythologies, they give us a type of impression what is going to happen after death. For example, if we see that death is going to be a type of symbol, the wild grass, according to the poet, that can be seen as a symbol of life that continues to grow and exist after individual lives here lives have ended. suggesting a cyclical view of life and nature. So that view, that theory is very significant in a number of religions, for like the Hindu religion also. Here, in the tone of Walt Whitman, this poet, Lu Hsun, goes to talk about the thing, what happens when one dies, according to him. When somebody dies and is lying in the grave, his body may be decomposing or not, but it gives birth to the grass, to the flowers, or to the other beautiful things, and therefore the life continues to emit out of that dead body even, and that is the cyclic circle of life in which we live. So it perhaps goes to show that we never die. We only change shapes and styles and sizes. That keeps on happening. But he also talks about the feeling of a person who would think what can happen to him when he dies. Let's see what is that. The tone of the poem, tone of the essay rather, it's not a poem. Tone of the piece is reflective and somber. It's a serious kind of poem, talking about death, talking of the fears of death, talking of the, the kind of helplessness which one feels if somebody is dead, because senses would be dead. So the poem has got melancholic or sad mood, and the tone is that of pondering, that of thinking what possibilities can be there when we are dead. There is some kind of philosophy as well. Philosophical underpinning is present here. For example, Lu Hsun works often delves into philosophical question in After Death. He reflects on nature of existence and human condition. The poem can be seen as an exploration of both personal and universal concerns about life and death. Definitely, all of us are worried and upset by thinking that our life we are living in this world, we are very happy, we collect money, lots of other things, and try to make our life as good as possible. And we also leave something for the posterity. But then when one dies at that time, if one can feel, then definitely big helplessness possibility is there. For example, if you want to move your arm, you cannot. If you want to move your tongue, you cannot. And if you want to say something, you cannot, because muscular death has taken place. And therefore, it's a kind of warning to the human being that this is going to be the end of the life. So why to be so, proud and so heavy in this world? So that is the kind of philosophical underpinning of the whole essay. There's a personal reflection of the writer. The poem may also be interpreted as Lu Hsun's personal reflection on his own life and legacy. As a writer deeply involved in social and political upheavals of his time, he might be questioning the impact and meaning of his life and work. This is the question which is all the time present in the mind of everyone, a type of reflection that we live in this world, keeping on fighting and doing things to show our power or to show our mind and intelligence and so many other things. But then the reality of life is like that everything would be left here. All struggles would be left here. And it is only the human being who will die. Along with him, all his wishes and desires would also die. So the questioning and validity of the meaning of life, why life is given, why it is there, that is most of the time talked about. And therefore, it makes us think why we are here, what's the reason behind that. There are some of the texts which can be taken from the essay, the impressions that can be taken from this essay After Death. For example, it is poignant and evocative, creating a vivid picture of the poet's inner thoughts. So it's all about the inner thoughts which come to our mind when we think of death. The structure of the poem format follows for a free flow expression of ideas, giving the reader a direct insight into the poet's contemplation. So that is the impression which one gathers after reading the text. We can conclude that After Death in the book Wild Grass is profound meditation on death and what lies beyond. Lu Hsun's introspective and philosophical approach invites readers to reflect on their own views about mortality and legacy that they leave behind. I just pointed out that actually it is the thinking about what happens when somebody dies. Though we want to live forever, we don't want to taste mortality. But then what is that which we leave? It's a good work, it's a good thing for the humanity. If we leave, then definitely it's good. Otherwise, it's problematic for us to die. Only when death comes, we may be realizing what we have done and what we have not done. The poem's enduring relevance lies in its universal theme and poet's ability to capture complex emotions in a deep, moving way. So that is the, the kind of interpretation we can have of the essay after that, and that is the kite. So one is very good, happy with the tone, but the other one is sad and somber. I have combined them together so that the video watchers may be able to experience both things and come to know that this writer is of this type of nature, that he can talk somber also, he can talk about something happy as well. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you in some next video. If you like it and understand anything out of that, do not fail to hit the subscribe button and the like button also. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.